Let's now move on to the second main topic today. And our second main topic today is submitted to us from Nickolas Horton, who writes, "Hi, John. Wondering if you saw that Toy Story 4 has now officially crossed the $1 billion mark. This makes the 5th movie this year that Disney has had that joined the $1 billion club, and there's probably one or two more to come in the form of Frozen 2 and Star Wars probably. I don't think Maleficent 2 is going to hit $1 billion, but you never know. How significant is this for Disney and for Toy Story in particular? And do you think it could open the door for a Toy Story 5? Thanks." All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yep, we knew it was going to happen. We saw the numbers. We knew how many international markets it still had to open into, and it did finally happen. Maybe a little bit later than I thought it would, but it finally happened. Toy Story has crossed the $1 billion mark, becoming the 5th film this year alone that Disney has put out to cross that $1 billion mark. That's insane. That's insane. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that we would freak out if 3 films in 1 year, not just from one studio, but if 3 films period in 1 year joined the $1 billion club. This year, and we're only in August, Disney by itself has put out 5 films that have joined the $1 billion mark. Here's what, that's the wrong one. Here's what we're getting about this. This is from Deadline, and they write the following. Disney/Pixar's Toy Story 4 has finally crossed the $1 billion mark, putting Disney in an atmosphere that no other major studio has ever touched, having 5 picks gross over $1 billion in a single year. It is projected that Frozen 2 and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker later this year will bring that count to a mind-boggling 7 titles. Good luck to any rival in town, whoever dreams of surpassing that milestone, especially since Disney has all the goods when it comes to brands. So let's just talk about this for a second. Now, I think there are 2 massive things for us to keep in mind and puts all this in context. 5 films in 1 year joining the $1 billion club, all from the same studio, and that number's only going to go up. I mean, if Maleficent 2 drastically overperforms, again, I don't think Maleficent 2 is going to come near $1 billion, but it might, who knows? If Maleficent 2 drastically overperforms, we theoretically could be looking at 8 films from Disney that joined the $1 billion club. That's unlikely, but 7 is certainly within the strong realm of possibility. I think it's a very strong possibility. I might even say probability that Frozen 2 is going to join that mark. And again, another very strong possibility, probably even probability, that Star Wars Episode 9 will also join that mark. You can't possibly overstate just how insane this is. But now let's move on just from the mark that Disney has set for themselves. What about Toy Story itself? There's only a handful of animated films ever that have joined the $1 billion club. And now Toy Story 4 has accomplished that feat. On top of that, Toy Story 4, I believe, I could be wrong, but I think now Toy Story is the only franchise to have 2 animated films in the $1 billion club. You know? Which is remarkable. Now, I think maybe Minions did as well, because I know Minions is in the top 5. I think Despicable Me 3 might have joined the $1 billion club. I can't remember off the top of my head. But regardless, Toy Story now has 2 of its films in the $1 billion club, which is insane. Which is absolutely insane. John, that's some very good observation and punditry. Thank you, Spoonie. And you're very handsome today. Thank you, Spoonie. Forky, sorry. Why did I say Spoonie? Because I was thinking, yes. Anyway, thank you, Forky. Anyway, it's nuts. It's crazy. Now, to the last part of your question about, could this open the door for Toy Story 5? I don't think so, and here's why. This isn't like an Aladdin situation where I believe a lot of people at Disney were surprised that Aladdin got to $1 billion. I think there were a lot of people at Disney that were quite surprised that Aladdin got to $1 billion. I don't think there's a lot of people walking around the halls of Disney's studio lot, which is just like a 10-minute drive up the road from where I'm at right now. I don't think there's a lot of people walking around the halls of Disney right now going, what? Toy Story 4 made $1 billion? What? No. Like, I just don't think that's happening. I think this is something they probably highly expected would happen. I think they believed that Toy Story 4 would hit $1 billion mark. So I don't believe there's that surprise element. Now, if they were kind of maybe guessing and thinking that Toy Story 4 might hit $600 million and then it hits $1 billion, well, maybe that surprises them, and maybe that surprise leads them to start thinking about maybe we do another one. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think they are surprised by this. From everything we heard, this is the last Toy Story. Now, keep in mind, we also heard the same song and dance after Toy Story 3, right? Like after Toy Story 3, that was it. It was done, right? We're finished. We've wrapped up the trilogy of Toy Story. It was all done, right? And now here we are with Toy Story 4. But really, I really do think they're now wrapped up. I think they're done. I think they not only, it felt like in Toy Story 3, they wrapped up the story of Andy, which felt like the end. But now with Toy Story 4, it puts a bigger explanation or an exclamation point on the ending, because it doesn't just feel like the end of Andy's story. Now, Toy Story 4, for those of you who've seen it, feels like it wraps up the story of Woody. It feels like Woody's story is now wrapped. And if Woody's story is wrapped, I think it's time to move on. So, no, I don't think Toy Story 4 joining the $1 billion club will surprise anybody at Disney, and certainly not shake them into thinking maybe they need to do another one. I think they are wrapped up on this franchise now. I fully expect to see short films and maybe some animated series and little things like that, but I do not think we're going to see Toy Story 5. I would love to be wrong about that. I would love to be incorrect about that. And I certainly have no insider Hollywood information, but I think they're done. I think they're wrapped up. Now, you might say, but you could do Toy Story 5 with, say, Buzz as the lead. Yeah, you could, but I just feel like the story's done. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. What do you guys think about that? Number one, how insane is this that we're talking about a studio putting out $5 billion films in 1 year, and there's probably more to come? And then on top of that, what do you think about that for Toy Story as a unique brand? And do you think this could open the doors for Toy Story 5? I don't personally think so. Maybe you do. Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right.